Hi everyone, welcome back to Sashay Away with Barry. We're going to be doing things a little differently tonight, but first I want to thank you all for your well wishes. I am 100% healthy again, and I'm drinking wine, yes! I'm drinking a lovely sparkling rosé lime in my me glass. You can't see it, but it says me on it. And I poured a very big glass because I don't want to get up in the middle of the show. But I want to thank you all for your well wishes. I'm doing well. I'm sitting here with a giant red bow on my head and my classic cunt shirt. Yes! And it is a very special day because I am sitting on a new couch in my apartment. Those of you who have never been to my apartment and don't know my life, you know this is a very, very big deal. We got a new couch this weekend, or not this weekend, this week, 2 days ago in fact. And so I'm sitting on it, I'm gonna watch the show, and during the commercials, I'm gonna come back and do my little recap during the show. So we are exactly 3 minutes away from go time. So grab a drink and I'll be back shortly. Bye. All right, I'm back. We made it through the first segment. It was our first we had the mirror moment where they come in and wipe off the mirror. Mercedes says she's happy to be there. Angie made some comments. She's like, well, you prove that you want to be here, but now you got to win some challenges. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't expect a lot from her in the challenges, but her lip sync was fantastic last week. Gotta give it to her for that. The mini challenge this week is throwing a little shade at Michelle Visage. They are going back to 1990, and they are going to be trying to get in the stage door of a seduction concert. Great. RuPaul is going to talk to them at the stage door from behind the stage door. She's not really there, but they are going to do their best to try and get in, and it's really the goal is to be funny. Clearly they get into a 15-minute quick drag and so forth. The winner of this, there are 2 winners, but in my mind there was really only one winner. Nina West won this hands down. She was the best one. It was hysterical. She pretended to be Michelle Visage's daughter. She had a maternity test to prove it, and she had these crazy teeth, and she put on these glasses that had tears on them. It was really, really funny. The rest of them were fine, nothing great, but we needed a second winner, so they picked Raja out of nowhere. I don't know, she didn't do much. She had a rabbit fur. She did say, this is my good fur. I'm glad it wasn't silky, because she did her normal extra self, but she didn't win this time. So it was that. So what happens is these 2 winners, they are going to be the deacons in the She-Vangelical Challenge. They are going to do their own little She-Vangelical talk show kind of thing. I think it is improv. It is not a scripted thing, and they get to pick their own pop divas to be talking about it. Yes, I guess they're going to talk about them. So we're picking teams, and on Team Nina, she picks Silky first. I think this is probably smart, because I think Silky might do well in this challenge. Is she gonna be loud? She either gonna be really good or she gonna be really terrible. But she picked Silky, Evie, Miss Vanjie, Brooklyn, Ariel, and then at the end she got stuck with Mercedes because that was the last pick. And teams are not even. Raja picked Sugar, Scarlett, Plastique, Honey, and Akira. Akira was a little pressed that she was stuck down there with Mercedes as the last 2. And Brooklyn kind of threw some shade and said she hasn't really noticed her. She had a great runway the first week, but then she's kind of faded into the background. So maybe we're gonna have some drama this week. I really hope so. But that's all that's happened so far. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you haven't seen it yet, maybe you can watch this when you watch it. We'll play along together. Grab a cocktail, take a drink, and let's move on. All right, I'm back again. We are back again. We're on our second commercial break right now. So the Ru comes in and talks to the teams. They decide what pop divas they're gonna do. And I am exploding inside because Nina West's team has chosen the one and only Britney Spears. Yes, it's Britney, bitch. And they have actually named themselves the IBBN. It's Britney Bitch Network, and I live for it. Brooklyn and Nina are going to be the hosts. I don't know about Brooklyn's hosting ability of this, but Nina West should be great. Evie and Mercedes are going to be the non-believers, and I don't know what that means. Silky and Ariel are going to be singers. It's interesting to see the two of them work together. Silky in the Little Confessional said, "You just called me loud and obnoxious, and now you want to sing with me." And then Ariel said in her confessional, "Yeah, I said it last week. Get over it. Move on." So we'll see how that plays out. I have high hopes for this team. I think they're working together already. It seems like they know some shit about Britney, so bring it on, girl. I'm living for it. Our other team has decided they went through a bunch of divas, and then they landed on Mariah Carey. And I don't know why. I mean, she's a diva, don't get me wrong, but they don't seem to know shit about her. And Ru calls them on it. They don't even know what Mariah calls her fans. And I'm not a Mariah Carey fan, but I even know that they are lambs. David Sachko, I hope you are not rolling over in your bed right now, not in your grave, because you're not dead. But you are probably screaming at the TV when you're watching this, because they don't know shit about Mariah, or they're pretending to not know anything. I hope they can come up with something, because it looks like a disaster. The only thing I could get from them signing parts is that Scarlett is going to be one of the hosts, and I only say that because I saw it in a clip. And Honey and Raja are going to be singers. They're going to do some gospel shit. I'm scared. Man, I don't know what anyone else is doing. I think Akira said she was going to be one of the non-believers. Suga, I think they're going to put her as the other host, but I don't really know. She came right out and said she don't know anything about Mariah, so don't rely on her. So I don't know where anyone's landing. But Ru kind of called them out, and they gotta pull it together fast. I don't know where they're gonna get Mariah facts, but they don't know anything right now, other than her songs. So we'll see what happens next. Bye. Welcome back. I need a drink because I just had so much fun watching that last segment. It was so good, but I didn't drink during it. So look, my glass is almost half gone already. But that was it. I cannot wait to talk about this because it was so good. I'm gonna say this right now. This is Team Britney, and their job is to get you to join the Church of Britney. I'm probably the founding member of the Church of Britney, so I'm already there. But this was hysterical. It was so good. They are doing it live, which means they're not going to get second takes. You only get one chance. They do take little breaks. They're like, come here, some breaks. But it's just going straight through. One take is all you get. Nina and Brooklyn as the hosts are actually really good together. Brooklyn impressed me this week. It's not acting. She was just doing her thing, having a good time. I like that she kind of started with Christina Aguilera, but said Britney saved her, and that's how she came to see the light. They do a live conversion, and Miss Vanjie is the one converting people, and she is bananas. I'm gonna say it again, I'm not a Vanjie fan, but she is winning me over this season because she is so ridiculous that it is just so funny. She's kind of got that Alyssa Edwards thing where she is super funny and doesn't know it. That's how I feel. Maybe she does know what she's doing, but she was hysterically funny on this. Bitch be crazy is all that's what I wrote down, bitch be crazy. And then at one point, after the first conversion, she thanked Miss Vanjie instead of Britney. And she's like, thank Vanjie. I thank myself. And literally said it out loud, and it was just funny. And Nina, in her talking head, she's like, I keep breaking character because it is just so funny. And it was. I can't wait for you all to see it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Evie comes out, and she is a goth chick. Evie and Mercedes come out. They're both the unconverted. So Evie's a goth chick. And what Vanjie did was shave her wig. And so she ended up being with her bald head, and then you come back and she has a blonde Britney wig on, and she is living her life and shaking it and doing hairography. It was funny. And then Mercedes is from the jungles of Africa, and she is in full jungle garb. She messed up her little line that they actually gave her, but it was fine. It wasn't too bad. And what they did was they sprayed Britney's perfume in her hair, in her jungle hair that she got from Bibi Zahara Benet. And it turned into a Britney wig, and she started doing her hairography. And then they all did it together. It worked. It was funny. They carried Mercedes through, and she should be safe this week. Ari and Silky are going to sing us a song, and this song is hysterical. It is This Little Light of Mine, for those of you religious nuts out there. I say that, I know the song, everyone knows this song, but they added Britney lyrics to it, and I lived for it. I'm gonna say it might be the best thing I've seen on Drag Race in a very, very long time. It might be the best thing ever. I hope we get to watch the whole thing completely through, as one take kind of thing, and I will die. And then they end it with a big group sing-along and say, "Praise Britney" at the end. I loved it. I loved it. I can't say enough. Team Britney, I raise a glass to you. You did it. That other team has no chance of winning this challenge. I hope they do judge it as a team challenge and not as individuals, because this team, they deserve to be in the top. I think the top two will probably be Nina and Vanjie, and I'm calling that right now. All right, I'll be back after the next break. Bye. All right, now I really need a drink, and not for the same reason as the last segment. This Team Mariah is a disaster. I said that the Britney one was probably my favorite thing ever to see on Drag Race. This might be my least favorite thing to ever see on Drag Race. It was a disaster from start to finish. They had no idea what they were doing at all. One positive I'll say, I loved Scarlett's wig and her hat. And they were all wearing butterflies. That's the good. Yeah. So we are told that we're going to be they're going to convert sheep into lambs. That's what Raja tells us in her confessional. That's a great little catch line. They should have said it on the show. They didn't. It would have been funny. Scarlett and Suga are crazy, but not Vanjie crazy. It just wasn't funny. It made no sense. It was bad. Bad. They're all wearing the butterflies, and I'm going to tell you that they are from Michael's because I have purchased them before. I know where they came from. I know what they look like. I have them in my craft closet right now as we speak. I should have gotten up and gotten them out and put them all over my body because that's what they did. It was, oh my God, it was just so bad. And then they were gonna go to commercial break, and it felt like they were going, and Ross is like, okay, we're on break, and then Scarlett decided to deliver another line. And then they went to commercial break. Yeah, it was, oh God, this was just horrendous. So we're gonna do a conversion with Plastique, and Plastique has lost her fucking mind. She did all of these crazy, when she first started, I was like, her voice is kind of low. It's lower than she normally speaks. And then it got a little higher, and then it went demonic. It was bizarre. I don't know what she was thinking. This whole team could be in the bottom right now. Yeah, it was weird. So we're going to try to convert Akiria, who is a Ariana Grande fan. That's who they picked. I don't see Akiria as being an Ariana Grande fan, but great. That's who they should have picked. Ariana Grande as their diva, maybe. So what they did, they just start talking. Akira is wearing these giant earrings with A's on it, and I hate when queens do that. I think it was Raja that did it when she came in with the R-O on her chest in the interview. Ugh, drives me crazy. But she got big A earrings. They are big and they are loud. They are drag earrings, but I don't like the big A's. Sorry. Anyway, so the way they end up converting her is they spread honey on her forehead, and that's what converts her. And guess what? She comes back with a blonde wig. It's just like the other one. Um, Mariah Carey doesn't have blonde hair. It's kind of a honey color. So coming back in like a platinum blonde wig made no sense. It was a Britney wig that they maybe they found it on the set and were like, oh, let's put this on. It was so bad, and they kept talking about the movie Sparkle. The movie is glitter. I don't know if they were trying to be funny, but you would think the Church of Mariah Carey lady, which was Plastique, would know that it's called glitter. I could see Akira's character maybe saying Sparkle to be sassy, but they both said it. It's not Sparkle, and Ross even was like, Sparkle? Yeah, the movie's glitter, which we hear in the next segment. I'm so frustrated by this. But Raja and Honey are gonna sing us a song, and boy, was it a mess. That's the whole synopsis of this segment was a mess. Honey's hat kept wobbling on her forehead. It was like pinned, but it wasn't actually touching her wig, and so it kept like bouncing. And Raja's was over her eyes. You couldn't see her eyes at all. And she was sitting at the piano kind of with her head down as well, so you couldn't see anything. They said Timmy Mottola at one point. I'm pretty sure his name is Tommy Mottola. They don't know the words to their song. They're singing it off of cue cards. And then they do a big sing-along at the end, just like the other one. And Ross's parting words to them was, you better bring it on the runway. That is not a good sign, kids. You done fucked up. This was by far the worst thing I've seen. It ranks right up there with Shakespeare from season 7, which was terrible. But this was a disaster. Everything about it did not work. Sorry, girls. I hope you all have to lip sync. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, I'll be back at the next commercial. Bye. All right, I'm back. This is gonna be a quick little segment because it's just them getting ready in the workroom. But I have a delusion alert because Suga is worried for her group, and they all start talking together. And then Honey in a confessional says, she's like, Suga seems concerned for us, and now that makes me concerned. Bitch, she thought she slayed this challenge. Oh, she's doing a viewing party tonight, and I hope it goes well for her. Because she did not slay this challenge. This challenge was, and not just her whole team was a mess. But apparently she didn't think that. She thought they did really good. Brooke and Banji are having a little flirtation moment. There's a rumor that some queens might get together this season, and it may be them. They are all over each other in the workroom, and the other queens are starting to notice it. I thought we were going to get a little Muslim lesson because they started talking to Mercedes about it, and then she just walked away. But Akira at one point says, talking about going to a church, and she's like, so do you go to a mausoleum since you're Muslim? Girl. God bless Silky, because she's like, no, they go to a mosque. I don't know what to think about that. But Mercedes walked away, and in a confessional, she's like, I don't want to talk about religion. I just don't want to talk about it. And you got to respect that. I applaud her. Evie is painting her entire body. I thought it was purple, but they said pink maybe. But she is standing in the workroom completely naked, dick out, ass out, and everyone is talking about it. Go you. I can't wait to see what you're looking. I don't know what the runway is yet, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen on the runway because it's going to be bonkers, I think. So we'll be back after the next break. See you then. Bye. All right, I'm back. I just watched the runway. I hope you enjoyed it. I just put it right there. Did you see it? It was all pictorials, but I did it in the video form because I can't steal from the Drag Race, so I hope you all watched it, and now I'm going to talk about it. The category was Fringe. I love some Fringe. Had I known, I would have put on my Fringe gown instead of just this bow. But that is neither here nor there. It was a fun runway. I love Fringe. Rue came out in green sequins. It is her usual silhouette. She is back to doing her normal thing. Her hair looked good. Her makeup looked good. Her body looked good. She had a weird, like, fold on one side that kind of made it a little asymmetrical, and I don't know if that was on purpose, but it was fine. She looked really good. Michelle and Ross are our usual judges, and we have guest judges Troy Sivan and Guillermo Diaz, and I enjoy them both, so I'm happy to have them both. I love Guillermo Diaz so much, from Scandal, but all the way back from Stonewall movies. I believe he was in Party Girl with a girl whose name I can't remember now because my mind is gone, but it was Party Girl, a movie from way back when. So that was that. They're all there. They're going to talk about it. Honey is first. This look is fantastic. I can't say anything bad about it. It fit her great. It looked great on there. She said it was a political statement about all the people she's lost to gun violence. I did not get that, but great. I love a political statement. The Fringe was exactly right. I loved it. She looked really, really good. She may have saved herself with her look. We will see. Scarlett's, I thought was kind of basic. I'm going to say that about a few of them. I wrote meh for a lot of them, and that basically means basic to me. I didn't love it. It's a corset with some fringe. Her face looked good. Her hair looked good, but I didn't like the outfit. Not that I didn't like it, it wasn't anything special. Suga is doing a Native American look. She comes out in a big coat and then does a reveal to feather and fringe. It looked great. It was a little chaotic and messy, but she was doing a tribute to her Native American heritage. So I give her props for that. It was interesting. It was more interesting than Scarlett's look. Plastiques was also another meh for me. It was a bodysuit with some fringe on it. You did not go out of your comfort zone for that. So it was just a meh. I'll do my toots and boots later at the end of how I really felt. The dog is barking now because there is someone outside. So I'm just going to calm her down a little bit. Akiria came out and she looked fucking stunning. This is my favorite outfit that she's come out in. It was so good. Everything was right about it. Yeah, I have nothing else to say, but way to go. Your runway is the best this week, I think. Raja came out in a bodysuit with some fringe on it. Meh, not great. Nothing special. It's not going to help you. You're going to be probably lip syncing for your life and maybe going home this week. We will see. Nina came out in this crazy look and I lived for it. I wrote down, yes.
LMG, yes!
Yes.
Yes,
I'm going to do it again.
girl.
Because I loved it. She looked like a car wash. She had on this crazy headpiece wig thing that was just, it was insane. And I loved it. I thought it was so good. She might win the challenge just from that. It was so good. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Berkeley came out. It was cute. It looked really good on her. It was different than anyone else's. So I give her props for that. Vanjie. It was meh. It was a bodysuit with fringe. She wore some Cher hair. And it was a red bodysuit. This is her third week in a row wearing red on the runway. I'm wearing red. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe she's gonna win now. I don't know. From the challenge she could have won, but from this runway I don't think she deserves to win. It was boring. Evie Oddly, all I wrote down was holy shit. This outfit was insane. I I don't know what to say. She called it Jellyfish Couture, and that is exactly what it was. Like, when she came out, Troye Sivan, like, stood up to get a better look at it. It is so good. It is so right. I don't think she'll win the challenge, just from the challenge part of it, but from the runway, this was insanely great. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Bravo to you. You might be my top toot of the week. But we'll get to toots and boots later. Mercedes, it was a bodysuit with some fringe. And she said the word camouflage, but she didn't say it that. She said camouflage. Camouflage. I can't even say how she said it. Watch the episode. She said it wrong. It was opulence all over again. Where opulence was funny, this one wasn't. But it's a bodysuit with some fringe, so no girl. Ariel's was interesting because it was a different take on fringe. It was more like hanging paillettes. So it was interesting, but it was a two-piece, you know, what she wears all the time. So it wasn't exciting to me. It was just a different take on fringe. And Silky came out as the Fringe Cookie Monster, and I really loved it. I thought it was great. This is the best Silky has ever looked on the runway. It had no shape to it whatsoever. It was just a big blue blob of fringe, and I'm on board with it. So way to go, Silky. You won me over with your look this week. So good job. We'll see you next week, I'm sure. And I'll be back after Judges panel. Bye. All right, I'm back. I just watched the judges' critiques. There's not a lot to, well, there is a lot to say. But Team IBBN, it's Britney Bitch Network, were the winning team. I'm so glad we have a team winner. Excuse me while I burp. I'm gonna take a drink now too. I'm so glad the team won. They all did a great job. But they had one unanimous winner for this week, and I agree wholeheartedly with it, and that is Ms. Nina West. She is the solo winner this week. Ru also shouted out Vanjie and Ariel, saying they did a great job. I think their runway looks are what held them back this week from being the winners. Nina killed the challenge, and she killed the runway. So that is why she is the winner. She got a $3,500 gift card to Isly NYC, ISLY-NYC, Isly NYC. It is a great little local, I think she makes jewelry, and I want to say that it's lucite. I've so lost my mind. I know it's jewelry. I think it's lucite jewelry. Sasha Velour is a big proponent of them. I know Jen Connors has some of them. Christian bought a bracelet from them at Bushwick. And it is a great company. Check them out online. That is ISLY-NYC. But she gets $3,500 to spend there. That's pretty exciting. The whole team is safe. Nina wins. All the others are all safe. And Ru informs us that all of Team Mariah are up for elimination. They're not all going to lip sync, unfortunately, but they're all up for elimination. And Ru accused them all of not knowing anything about Mariah, and then accused them of taking everything that she told them about Mariah and using only that in the challenge, which is what they did. Scarlett and Suga were the hosts, and all of the judges pretty much said they set the wrong pace for the whole thing, and so the big part of the blame is on them. Plastique used the excuse that she doesn't know anything about pop culture. She's only started learning about pop culture 3 years ago. And so I think it was Ross asked, people in Vietnam don't know who Mariah is? She's like, well, no, I've been here since I was 11, but I don't know pop culture. You lost me, Plastique. I was a big proponent of yours, but you just lost me just talking. None of that made sense to me, and that is all I have to say about that. Akira, they loved her runway, which was stunning. But they said that she should have set up the scene more. Apparently, I thought the A's were for her name, but they were for Ariana Grande, because she was the Ariana Grande fan, but I didn't get that at all. I thought they were her name, and that's what I'm gonna stick with. So they didn't like that she didn't really set up the scene. Honey Davenport used the excuse that she's been in her head for the last 3 weeks. Girl. It's been probably 1 week there. But you can't say that you've been in your head for 3 weeks. You've been invisible for 2 weeks, and this week you were there for the wrong reason. It was not good. Raja, all they could say was you were a little better than Honey. That's the only thing they could say about her, because it was just so bad. Troye Sivan and Guillermo Diaz both said they're kind of a package thing because they did their thing together, so they were both equally bad. And this is where Rue gives us that line that we heard last week in the preview. She said it about all of them. 3 words: stink, stank, stunk. And then she asked, who's to blame? And she asked each person who's to blame. And basically they all said they all failed. They dropped the ball. Honey took blame. Honey kind of stepped up and said that she would take blame, and Rue's like, you take blame for the whole group? And she's like, no, for my part. Yeah, so that was dumb. I mean, it's great that you took credit for your own thing, but don't jump in and say, I'll take blame, because they're just going to blame you for everything. The real blame goes on Raja because she was the team captain. She didn't do anything as a captain. She was not leading this ship. She was letting people do whatever they wanted. And they picked the wrong person, because apparently none of them know who Mariah Carey is. We're going to come back and find out who's in the bottom and lip sync and who's going home. I'll be back later. Bye. All right, I'm back. One more time. This was crazy. Crazy, everyone. If you haven't watched this yet, get ready. So all 6 are standing there, and Rue literally says, y'all need to step your pussies up. She said it to all 6 of them, and said, for the first time ever in Drag Race history, you will all be lip-syncing for your life. 6 queens on that fucking stage are gonna lip-sync. It's gaggy. It is so gaggy. It is crazy. There are too many queens up there. They are not gonna be able to do shit on that runway. They are gonna be doing it to J-Lo's Waiting for Tonight. Yeah. I don't know. It was hard to watch. They tried to do split screens so that you could see them all, but it was just all over the place. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to take their word for what the final outcome was. Scarlett took her wig off and fluffed out her natural hair, and it looked better than her wig. I loved her wig, but I thought her hair actually looked better. Honey did a death drop right off the stage. She lost a shoe. The whole thing was crazy. I don't have anything else to say about it because I couldn't take notes because I was watching so intently, trying to figure out what was going on. Sugarcane didn't seem to know all the words, or they were just showing her at a different time of the song because she was singing something. It just wasn't matching up to the music. First up, Plastique gets to stay. Then Raja gets to stay. Scarlett gets to stay. Akira gets to stay. Suga gets to stay. And that means Honey is going home. It's the end of the line for our first New York City queen. I love Honey Davenport. She is a great queen. She was a little bit too invisible on the show. I think that was her problem. And this was not her week. Her runway this week was stunning. Yeah, I don't know. Half of her lip sync she did on the floor in front of the stage. That might have been a problem. And then she said this is just one step in her journey, and she is not done. And she is not. She just put out an album. You can go download it. You can I'd probably stream it, Spotify. Go check her out. She is a great queen. I love you, Honey. And I will see you in New York City. Yes! Next week, we are getting a lip sync extravaganza to Trump the Rusical. I can only hope that one of the queens has to play Trump. It is all lip sync. We did one of these before. I'm hoping it's really good. They showed a bunch of choreo rehearsals. It did not look like it was going well, but you know, that happens all the time. We'll see what the queens do. It'll be interesting. I'm going to watch all of Untucked right now, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do my toots and boots and give my final thoughts on this episode. Again, I saw there were some great things on this episode. There's some terrible things on this episode. but I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed talking to you during all the breaks. So I'll be back one more time. Bye. Hi everyone, I'm back for one last segment. Here we go. We're gonna talk Untucked. I'm almost done with my rosé. So Nina is very excited that she won the challenge, and she's finally excited to be seen for the winner that she is. Silky blamed Britney Spears for her not winning. I'm done with you, Silky. You cannot come for Miss Britney and blame her because you didn't win this challenge when you didn't deserve to win this challenge. It's not Britney's fault. It is your fault. And then she got into this whole diatribe about how she was uncomfortable with the challenge because she was brought up in the church, and she thought that they were going to have to say that Britney was God, which she is, but that she was uncomfortable with that. But she was going to be fine with Whitney because Whitney is a woman of God. How you know Britney's not a woman of God? You don't know shit, girl. Oh, I'm so done with you, Silky. You were just making shit up. You didn't do well in the challenge. You did fine. You didn't exceed. You didn't win. And that is that. It wasn't the Silky show, and now she gotta make it a Silky show. I was liking you this episode until now. Why you gotta be a big bitch? Ugh, make me crazy. But Evie called her out. She sure did. She called her out for not being on board from the beginning. She didn't want to do it. We saw a clip that was not shown in the episode about Silky saying she didn't want to do Britney directly to Ru. And there it was. She started right then, before the challenge even started. So that was that. And basically, Evie said that she didn't do part of the challenge because she didn't get her way. She wanted to do Whitney. No one else did. And so they did Britney. And she was mad. She didn't get her way. She's going to take her toys, go home and cry. Well, go cry, bitch. And then for some weird reason, she ripped off her dress, saying she was ready to lip sync if she had to. Girl, no one cares. Again, she didn't get her airtime this episode. She gonna get it now. So she rips off her dress. She starts dancing around like a fool for no reason. Out of nowhere. Silky, it's not your show. It is RuPaul's Drag Race. You are there as a contestant. I don't get it. Brooke and Evie go outside to smoke. I don't like that either of them smoke, but oh well. I'm judgmental about that. Nina took off her fringe headpiece and had boy hair on, and then it came back from commercial break, and she put on a bus driver wig, a really bad one, and then she just sat there in the wig instead, and I was like, girl, just sit there with boy hair. I don't get it. It was weird. We find out that Ru actually told all 6 of them that they should all prepare to lip sync on the main stage before she sent them away. We didn't see it in the show, but it was in Untucked. She said, I think you should all prepare to lip sync. And it freaked the fuck out. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ru. We're going to Akira now. She started talking shit about Plastique, giving her excuses about how they don't have pop culture in Vietnam and blah, blah, blah. She said it to everyone except Plastique. That is a shady, shady bitch talking behind her back. I don't believe Plastique either. It was a lame excuse saying that she didn't know anything about pop culture, but say it out loud. Tell everyone. Including Plastique, let her defend herself. Don't be talking shade. Honey had a breakdown because she didn't think she did bad, apparently. Troye Sivan comes backstage. He is so pretty. And something amazing happens. Plastique knows who he is. She don't know nothing about pop culture. She don't know Mariah Carey. She don't know Beyonce, but she knows Troye Sivan. Really? The gig is up, girl. You lied. You flat up lied on the runway. We all know it now. You a liar. A shady bitch. That's it. I don't understand why this happened. Troy admits that he's never done full drag. He's only put on wigs. But they all think he would make a very pretty girl. And I think he would too. He's very pretty. And then Guillermo Diaz comes backstage and Silky attacked him. because she wasn't getting any airtime with Troye Sivan. So she jumped on him, wanted him to fuck her right there and be his baby daddy. It was gross. I don't like her. I'm over it. I can't stand her. Ugh, I was giving you a pass this week because I liked you in the challenge and I liked your runway. But now you have ruined it. Why you gotta ruin it every week for me? We find out that Guillermo Diaz is in an open relationship and that he was in the movie Stonewall, which I told you. I also told you he was in Party Girl, and that was, oh my God, I remembered her name during the thing and now I forgot it again. Oh my God. Someone put it in the comments. Oh, Parker Posey. He was in Party Girl with Parker Posey. And he said that his drag name would be Just Kidding. And Troy, because he is Jewish, would be Menorah Jones. I like it. It's fun. I like Just Kidding better. It made me laugh. And then we get to see Honey after her lip sync elimination. And she just broke down as soon as she got off the stage. Oh, it was hard to watch. Like she fell on the floor. Yeah, it was hard to watch. She says she's going to keep fighting, but right now her heart is broken, and she looks forward to only things to come once her heart is mended again. Honey, I'm sending out my love to you. I think you were a great queen. I love seeing you perform live, and I can't wait for what's next. Go get her album. It is on iTunes. It is on Spotify. Take a listen to it. She's a fierce queen. I am all Team Honey all day. I ordered her shirt already. If it had come, I would have worn it today, but it hasn't come in the mail yet. So when it gets here, I will put it on and wear it proudly. Speaking of, go support your queens. Buy their merchandise, listen to their music, download their music, give them some coins. These are queens. They need your money. Just because they're on Drag Race doesn't mean they're rich yet. So go support them. And now we're gonna go back to the runway looks. I'm gonna toot and boot. This is gonna be a quick toot and boot. I have some newts and some boots and some toots. Starting with Honey, and it was a big toot. I loved this outfit. She looked stunning in it. It fit her perfectly. It was a toot, giant toot. Way to go out, girl. Scarlet Envy gets the newt. Because it was a bodysuit with fringe on it. The gloves were interesting, and it was pretty, and that's the only reason I'm giving her a newt. Sugar Canes, I'm giving a toot to because I thought it was creative and inventive and different, so I like that. Plastique also gets a newt because it was a bodysuit with fringe, but it was pretty. It was silver and flowy and moved well, and I liked her hair. So it's a newt. You don't get a toot, you get a newt. Akira gets a very big toot for looking fierce in this headpiece and this dress. It was gorgeous. She looked great, great, great. I'm tempted to give her a top toot, but I'm not. Because, oh no, Raja is next in a bodysuit that was ugly. So it is a boot, a big, giant boot. It was so ugly. And then when I watched it again, the fringe was put on weirdly in weird places. It didn't make any sense. It was bad. Boot. My least favorite look of the night. Brooklyn Heights, oh no, sorry. Nina West comes out as the car wash, and it is giant toot. She is my top toot of the week. I thought it was stunning. She had a killer week this week, and she has raised her stakes way up in this race. She's had 2 great weeks, so bring it on, Nina. I'm ready for you to win. Brooklyn Heights came out in her little daisy fringe, and I lived for it. It was hippie chic. She called it Coachella, and I loved it. It was great. Oh, I meant to say, when I watched Untuck, and you could see, when I got to see Nina's headpiece up close, it actually had rhinestones on every single one of those fringe pieces. It was beautiful. But Brooklyn gets a giant toot as well, because I loved the little daisy dress. Vanjie gets a boot. Boot, boot, boot. It's red. You wore red 3 weeks in a row. It was a bodysuit with fringe on it. There was nothing special about it. Your hair was the best part of your outfit. Evie gets a giant toot as well because this was genius. It rivaled me for top toot as well because I was just so crazy amazing. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. She is one of my favorite queens this season, and I would be fine if she won the whole thing. Mercedes gets a boot because it was ugly. It was ugly, 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 ugly bodysuit with fringe, and she wore a lampshade on her head. Ariel gets a newt because it was just a two-piece bathing suit with some paillette fringe. I give her a newt because it was pretty and it was different, but it wasn't, I didn't love it, so it's not a toot, it's a newt. And Silky, I'm going out on a good note for Silky because I'm giving her a toot because I actually love the outfit. I hated her reveal that she did. It was a bodysuit with more fringe on it and some rhinestones. But I guess she was gonna do some flipping and tripping if she had to lip sync. But the fringe outfit, I loved it. I thought it was cute. I would wear it. It was a toot. And that's all I have to say about the looks. Thank you all for watching. I am going to sign off now. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was one to talk about. There's gonna be lots to talk about tomorrow at work. I can't wait for the drama to hit the fan. Until next week, cheers to you. I'm gonna finish my drink and go to bed. Love you all. Bye.